Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are well and I hope you guys are staying safe. If you haven't seen the first part of this video, I'm going to link it in the icons above and in the description box. Go ahead and check it out. That's where you learn to do the pattern. So we're going to go straight into the sewing video, and the first thing you need to do is cut out your fabric. To do this, because we want to get the maximum cowl effect, we're going to be cutting our fabric on the bias grain. So go ahead and fold your fabric over as shown. So I just folded one end over to the other to kind of give it a triangular feel, and then I went ahead to place my front pattern piece on it. Now, like I said, you want to make sure your pattern piece is folded on, is placed on the center front area, and then you want to pin it all through thoroughly. If you don't remember how we did this pattern piece, again, like I said, please watch the video for part 1. It shows you how we did the slashing spread, that we added the facing, and I don't know if you can tell, but all allowances have been added to the pattern. Go ahead and pin it as shown, and then go ahead and cut it out. So you cut out the exact thing. There is no need for any allowance because we've added all allowances to the pattern. However, if you chose to not add all allowances to yours, then you'll need to add your sewing allowances. The next thing to do after cutting out the front piece is to cut out the back piece. For this, you can decide to fold your fabric diagonally so that you can cut it on the bias grain, or you can fold your fabric normally and then cut it on the straight grain or the weft and wap grain. Now, it's entirely up to you. It also depends on how much fabric you have left. I tried to cut mine on the diagonal grain and I found out that I didn't have enough fabric for that. However, that's fine. Regardless, you still get really good, impeccable results. So I went ahead to fold my fabric normally, made sure the center back of the pattern was against the folded edge of the fabric, pinned it in place, and I went ahead to cut it out. Again, I'm not adding any allowances because all allowances for this has been added onto the pattern. So go ahead and cut it out as shown, and then we're going to get into like sewing in a little bit. A quick commercial break to remind you guys that if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and you also want to make sure that you are following me on social media. All links to my social media will be displayed on the screen and will be found in the description box. Also, if you have any problems sewing related or global talent visa related, book a paid call with me, and a paid call goes for £25, 25k. So book one using the link in the description box. Now, after doing that, the next thing to cut is the straps, and for the straps, I'll say cut out your straps so that they are 1.5 inches wide and about 12 to 13 inches long. Is entirely up to you. You might not need 12 to 13 inches, and we can shorten that after, but it's better to have it longer than it is to have it shorter. After cutting out all your sewing pieces, the next thing to do is to pipe the stripes. To pipe the stripes, you want to fold it in and then fold it in one more time and then conceal it by sewing. It's a bit difficult to describe, but after piping, this is what it looks like. You want to make sure it's as thin as possible, and then you want to go ahead and trim all the loose threads. Now, after piping, we're going to go ahead and deal with the front piece. For the front piece, you want to take out the pattern, so go ahead and take out all the pins there, and then the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and finish it off. So this is what it should look like. I'm just kind of arranging it, and as you can see, it's got the facing already. It's going to have the straps at the edge, and this is what it looks like. Now, the next thing we want to do is you want to go ahead and hem it. You want to hem as thinly as possible, and of course, you guessed right, I'll be using my Janome HD9 Professional sewing machine. That thing, guys, is absolutely amazing. Before doing that, we're going to go ahead and also straighten the facing part just so that it looks nice, and then for that as well, you can go ahead and hem it thinly or use your overlocking machine. So like I said, I was going to use my Janome HD9 sewing machine, and I used that to hem the bottom. I hemmed it thinly. I obviously used it to sew the whole outfit anyway, so that's what I use for my day-to-day sewing. Absolutely amazing, sews like a beast, handles any type of fabric. And then obviously after doing that, I also needed to finish off the facing edge. So like I said, if you don't have an overlocker for that, you can go ahead and hem it, but I use my overlocker to finish off the facing edge. Again, my overlocker is the Air Thread 2000D series from Janome. What can I say? I'm a Janome girl, guys, and it's not because I work with them. Again, like I said, their products are absolutely amazing. I can't just help it. It's really good products. Okay, guys, enough babbling. So after overlocking your pieces. And when you overlock your pieces, I don't know if you noticed, but I did it all the way around so that it looks really professional. The only thing missing would have been to use like brown thread so it kind of just blends in, but guys, I was just too lazy to change out the thread, so I've just kind of left it with like the white one. So basically, after overlocking the pieces, this is what it looks like. You're going to go ahead and fold it over. So you're going to fold over the facing piece onto the main fabric, and you want to make sure it matches around the armhole. And what will happen is that we're going to put the straps in like so, and then we're going to pin it into place. So you put the straps in from the middle point, and then you're going to pin it all the way to the edge of the armhole. And you want to make sure that it's equal and it's nicely folded before you do this. Okay, so we're going to repeat it for the other side as well. So you want to place the straps on the inside after folding it over to check, and then you want to go ahead and pin it all the way. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, the straps are sticking about 1 inch. That's fine, we can trim it off later, but it's always safer to have it sticking out, in my opinion. After pinning the straps in place, you guessed right, the next thing to do is to sew it in place by 1/2 inch. And then after sewing, this is what it looks like. So go ahead and trim off the excess strap at this point, and then go ahead, take out all the pins, make sure you don't leave any pins in, and then give it a good nice notch. And the notch, basically what that allows it to do is allows the armhole to ease up and open up. That's what the notch does. So give it a nice notch, and then at this point the front part of your top is done. Guys, as you can see, it's not that hard. Once you make your pattern, you're literally halfway or 3/4 way through the stump. Again, another reminder for you guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button already, guys. Subscribe to the newsletter, links are in the description box. Okay, so let's move on to the back piece. For the back piece, again, similarly, go ahead and unpin it, take out the pattern paper, and then we're left with the main fabric. So I don't know if you know, it looks weird, but go ahead and fold it over so you have the facing being folded over, and this is what it should look like rather. Again, hem the bottom using your sewing machine, and I'm using my baby, the Janome HD9, and then I went ahead to overlock the sides. Now do the same thing for the facing to insert the straps, but this time we're going to go ahead and fold the facing and pin it in place first. But if you notice, I didn't pin all the way to the top yet. Now we're going to place the front piece on the back piece so that the right sides are facing each other, and after placing the front piece on it, the next thing to do is to insert the straps. Now this could be a bit confusing, but just think it through and you'll get it. So for me, I found that the best way is to make sure that my straps are straight. So you straighten your straps when you place it on the main fabric. Measure how much you need, and how much you need will typically be determined by what you took away. So I took away 4 inches from the pattern on the front and the back, and I added 1 inch extra, so that's about 9 to 10 depending on how loose you want it to be. Insert it from the inside in between the facing and the main fabric, making sure it's straight, and then pin it in place. So we're going to do that on the other side as well. Mark out the length of the strap, insert it from the inside, make sure it's straight, insert it from the inside, and then pin it in place at the edge of the center back piece. And after you do that, go ahead and sew it in place, guys. That's literally the hardest part of it done. So after sewing it in place, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and cut off the excess strap. Like I said, it's always better to have enough strap, and then you can leave about 1 inch extra, just in this case for the back, in case you need to make it, freer, or you kind of need to take it in. You just know you have a little bit left, and then go ahead and notch it as you should. So after notching, this is what it looks like. The next thing to do is to sort out the sides. So join the sides, start from the facing bit, and then go ahead and pin the areas. Make sure the front sides are facing each other as shown, and then go ahead and pin the joining of the facing on the front and back to each other. Make sure you open up all your seams and pin it in place, and then pin all the way to the top and the bottom as well, and then go ahead and sew on 1/2 inch. Repeat this for the other side as well, please. Now after sewing, guys, this is what it looks like. It's important to give your top a good iron, especially with this kind of fabric. You need it to be properly ironed and steamed. So I'm using a steam iron, and I'm just ironing it out properly, making sure to iron all the nooks and crannies, all the stitches, all the seams. And also, if you'll see in a minute that I open up all my seams as well while ironing. You want to iron the straps. You want everything to stay in place and just look really nice, guys. The ironing is really, really important. Alright guys, so after ironing, that's your top all done. But before we give the closing remarks, I have a giveaway that is ongoing. Make sure you're participating so that you get a chance to win all the amazing stuff that I have. I have a sewing class or sewing workshop that is taking place in August in London. If you've not registered, the details are in the description box. Subscribe if you haven't, and subscribe to the newsletter as well. And if you want to book a call to go through anything, whether it's the bodice or like a skirt pattern, or you want to inquire about private classes, let me know using the description, the links in the description box, or book a paid call. Thank you so much guys, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.